Hello and welcome to my guide exploring the Banano Block Explorer. I aim for this guide to provide something for everyone, from new blockchain users to blockchain veterans. While this guide will be using the Banano Block Explorer Creeper, many of the details will be cross-compatible with other blockchain technologies. Creeper for Banano was developed by Melting Ice, which you can see at the bottom, and you can donate to him here if you want. So first off, we have the amount of Banano in circulation. So we have just over 1 billion at time of recording. We have known accounts. This list is not updated regularly, but it contains a small list of addresses that have specific and known purposes. Genesis is the account which all coins were created into at its inception of Banano. So I'll go and take a look at that now. And if I scroll to the bottom, I can see the original Banano creation of just over 3.4 billion Banano, and then this was distributed into 2 fund accounts. Next we have 2 official rep accounts which exist on Banano team managed nodes that upon creating a new address will be delegated your Banano for voting if a transaction is valid or not. So if we go into here and then see Delegators, this is where most Banano is then delegated. So these have the most impact on whether deciding if a Banano transaction was valid or not. Then next we have Mercatox number 1. Mercatox number 1 is the primary wallet used by the exchange Mercatox to pull deposits. So if we take a look in here, ignoring pending transactions because people like to spam this address with small amounts, we can see deposits from all kinds of users. So if we take a look in here, money comes in to one address and out to another. I'll sort of cover this a bit more later. And similar patterns can be seen across all of these accounts which I opened up a link of. Next, we have the Banano Runner account. This was a account created for paying out for the faucet Banano Runner. I'll display a picture of what Banano Runner is, as it's currently no longer running. And next we have Giveaway Fund. This is one of the accounts which received half of the supply of Banano at inception, and this is used to pay for faucets such as Banano Runner, and it's also used to pay for Black Monkey and Banano Miner. Also on the main page there is a list of accounts with top 5 balances. The top 2 are fund addresses, which are split between Chocolate Fudcake and Renesque. These balances will drop over time as Banano becomes more distributed. And the next is Mercatox, which we've already seen above, which is an exchange. If we follow the link to accounts and distribution, we can then see a chart of how Banano is distributed across accounts, as well as a rank of nearly all accounts from highest balance to lowest balance. Finally, on the main page, we have a live feed of transactions. We have the current processing time that is taking Banano to process transactions, and we sit a while, we may see a transaction come in. Or maybe not. Also on the Block Explorer we can see Banano network details. How many representatives are online, how many representatives are eligible to vote, how fast Banano is processing transactions, what protocol version people are running on their Banano nodes, how much wait is required to roll back a transaction, stats on whether the average node is synced or not, known Banano services. Similarly to the known addresses on the main page, this isn't really updated much, so there are some services missing from here, such as BoomPal. A list of nodes running Node Monitor so that you can track their stats. And finally, online representatives with 100,000 Banano delegated to them. Okay, now let's actually explore some blocks. As part of my demo, I sent 1 Banano from my Discord tip bot, address beginning ban3i63, to my personal address, ban1kirby. We can tell the direction of the transaction from the state being ascend and the amount being negative. If I visit the page of my personal address, I can see 1 pending transaction, and that's because I have not processed this part of the transaction in my wallet yet. A single Banano transaction is 2 blocks, 1 send and 1 receive, which are processed separately. See how my balance updates as I process a transaction by opening the wallet on my phone. Notice how the block hash in my personal address is different to the block hash on my tipbot address. And notice how the times are different as well. 1857 versus 1918. Now back looking at my tipbot address, if I click the hash I can see all the information attached to this block. The type, who sent it, how much the transaction was in decimal, dollars, Bitcoin, and in raw, which is how nodes read numbers. The representative in this case is ban1 tipbot because that's the service that this account is part of. If you see an address with tipbot as its representative, you can often assume that this address belongs to that service. You also have the recipient, which is my address, and you have the timestamp that the node discovered the block, and because the send and receive are processed at different times, timestamps of the send and receive blocks may not always match up, as I highlighted earlier. Now we've covered most of the features of a block explorer, let's talk about the discoveries you can make using it. As I mentioned earlier, the representative of my tipbot account is ban1 tipbot. While this is a good indicator that it's a tipbot, it can't be relied upon alone to determine if it's a tipbot address. My Telegram account here has a default representative, or it's myself as the representative. So what other behaviors can we identify? One is the high transaction count. As microtipping in Banano is common, we can expect to see many transactions. Here I have 19,500. We can also look at how many different addresses an address is sending or receiving from. So if we scroll down, we can see there are many different addresses that my account sends to and from. Finally, we can look at the features of a tipbot, such as rains, where the same amount of Banano is sent to many addresses at the same time. So here we can see 52.63 is going out to many users all at the same time. Hopefully now you should be able to identify a tipbot address just by looking at the account on a block explorer. Using the same kinds of techniques that I've identified here, along with automation, you may be able to identify when they are sending Banano to an external wallet. One external wallet type that you may be able to identify is an exchange or gambling intermediary. From the known accounts list, I am now looking at Mercatox's primary wallet. If we look at one of the depositing addresses, ignoring the pending ones, we should be able to identify a pattern of behavior for intermediaries. The address receives Banano from one to a few addresses and then sends all the funds it receives to a larger pool. So here we see a deposit of 160, it goes straight to this address. We see a deposit of 61, it goes straight to this address. And in the Mercatox address, we see a large pool of 57 million. So now if you see an address pooling all its funds into one large pool, it may be an exchange or gambling intermediary. The final address type we'll attempt to identify is a personal wallet. Personal wallets will typically have fewer transactions than tipbots and exchanges. Often they will have transactions to an exchange. If we take a look at this address it sends Banano to, it exhibits the same behavior as that of an exchange intermediary, receiving funds and then sending funds to one pool. They are also likely to have transactions with known services and distribution addresses. We can see transactions with BanScam identified by the ban3 scam address. We can see transactions with the Banano salary address identified by ban1 salary. And we can see transactions with Monkey Talks identified by ban1 monkey. These addresses are mostly spoken about in the public domain, or use a vanity address to help distinguish them. Additionally, I have compiled a list of many of these addresses on my GitHub, identified mostly by using a large range of Banano services and recording what address receives my funds or sends me funds. I will leave a link to my GitHub repo in the description so you can see the services that I have identified. So I hope after watching this you've learned something new about block explorers. Don't forget to like, comment any thoughts that you've had regarding this, and share it with your friends. Thank you.